the identifying marks of God's true remnant church or people in the last days. Listen to the book of Revelation, chapter 14. In verse 6, if you read there, the first identifying marks of God's true remnant church or people in the last days is that they proclaim the everlasting gospel. And this everlasting gospel will be preached just before the second coming of Jesus Christ. They will preach the gospel of love and the gospel of God's justice just before He comes again. That there is an ongoing phase of pre-Advent judgment, or the investigative judgment, or the judgment just before Jesus Christ comes. Because God would like us to understand clearly His will for our lives. So the first characteristics of the true remnant people of God in the last days is found in Revelation 14, verses 6 to 7. The call to worship God before He comes. Now, another identifying marks of God's true remnant people is that they worship on God's true day. They all worship not because it was for convenience, but because it was God's command for them to worship. And this command is the command to go back to the seventh day Sabbath worship, which is found in verse 7. Fear God and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment has come. And worship Him who made the heaven and earth, the sea, and the springs of water. This is a very clear allusion to Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 in the Old Testament. So the first thing is God will proclaim the everlasting gospel of love and His righteousness. The second is He will call people to obedience to His commandments, specifically the fourth commandment. And then the next one is God will make a clarion call to all people, saying with a loud voice, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Meaning to say, God is calling people from Babylon, a system of religious beliefs that is opposed to God, the Antichrist, and is in open rebellion to God, and is planting seeds of rebellion against God and His righteousness. Then the third angel follows the message found in verse 9. Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if anyone worship the beast in his image and receive his mark on his forehead or on his hand, verse 10, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength to the cup of His indignation. He shall be tormented, the Bible says, with fire and brimstone in the presence of the hell angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. We all know in the previous chapter that God had identified this beastly power, this power which has the number of a man, which is 666, which is found in chapter 13, verse 18, warning us to not to receive this mark of imperfection, this false system of worship. And so we are reminded that God has a true remnant church in the last days. They will proclaim the everlasting gospel. They will call people to obey the commands of God. They will call people out of confusion and open rebellion against God, and they will warn people of accepting or receiving the mark of the beast, which is 666. And so, dearly beloved, God's people are identified here in Revelation chapter 14, beginning in verse 6.